And now we're going to go on to my first guest. We are nothing if not an eclectic show. Well, he's a British rock legend. He made his name with Led Zeppelin, and since then, he's continued to release incredible music. His first album, with Alison Krauss, Raising Sand, is genuinely in my all-time favourite album list. I'm so glad that they've reunited for another album. It's called Raise the Roof. I absolutely love it, and I'm thrilled to say he's on the line now. Hello, Robert Plant.
Hey, Michael Ball, how are you?
I'm really well, and I genuinely mean what I said. I am thrilled you're back with Alison Krauss. I'm a huge fan of hers, a huge fan of yours, and I can't. Why has it taken 15 years for you to get back together again?
Well, to be honest, it's a dream ticket, but we did spend 2.5 years around the time of Raising Sand recording and then working worldwide. And I think when we ended up in a remarkable position, we got presented with a whole barrel load of Grammys at the end of a long period of work.
6.
And we thought we could actually carry on, start on, keep going. And I think when we went back in the studio, we spent about a week milling around with other ideas. And then we just said, this isn't going to work now. Next time we get a bit of space and a bit of time, let's get back together and try it. And so she had her projects. I have had a fantastic interim period playing all over the place in the desert, in Mali, in Morocco, and big tours in South America. And once you get on a roll, it's very hard to find a little way out, you know. So more or less, we were virtually finished by the beginning of 2020. But it was obviously by then.
Stuff happened.
Couldn't do much about it. Yeah. You're from Bromsgrove, aren't you?
I was born in Bromsgrove, yes.
Yeah, so were my kids, ironically. Yeah.
That's nice.
It's great.
That's nice. Do you know, that's not the only link that we have, Robert. My first ever concert, I was 17, and I was in the crowd at Nebworth. In 1979, which I think was probably the last Led Zeppelin gig.
Well, it was the last one in the UK for sure.
Yeah.
We went to Europe for a little while, and then obviously we lost John, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
But sadly.
But yeah, I mean, what an incredible day that was. I wish I could remember more about it.
So do I.
I do remember Chaz and Dave because they were on earlier in the and Todd Rundgren was on that. What an evening that was!
Right.
It was,
beautiful.
It was extraordinary, and it's interesting. You know, you're from that's where we know you from that world of brilliant rock. Alison is very much rooted in bluegrass. I've had her on the show. She's played live. I fell completely in love. So,
absolutely.
What kind of a genre? Can you put the music that you create together into a genre?
I don't think so, Michael. I think, I mean, if anything, we're finding that the Americana radio stations in the US have really embraced it. And that's good because it's not folk, it's not country, it's not bluegrass. It's got some bite to it, and it's got an attitude to it, and it's got the sort of angelic elements of Alison and the sort of growl that I carry with me. And so it kind of transcends. It doesn't really have anywhere that it fits, which is kind of interesting, really. Maybe they'll create a Grammy category for people who can't be actually categorized.
I think they probably. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you never know. You get two voices, very different. You don't know what's going to happen when you put them together. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And this is a surprising marriage made in heaven. It just works.
Absolutely, yeah.
It does work. So,
well, I think the thing is that the musicians that we use are really, really. You can't say that they're the top of the tree because it's a particular way of playing and of reading somebody else's song. I mean, I know you and Alfie do a lot of stuff together, and you actually do stuff with other people's music.
Yeah.
And you have to actually bring it home in a different way to make it convincing and to believe in it yourself, because if you haven't written it in the first place, then you have to be very careful because, as you say, a miss is as good as a mile.
It's so true. He's still desperately trying to get me to do A Whole Lot of Love.
Well, as a matter of fact, Alfie got hold of me. I do know him. I sang on one of his records.
Yeah.
And he got hold of me and he said, I want some gospel music. I said, okay, Alfie. So I sent him a load of really beautiful church music, which he applied himself to. And we've all got different grooves. I mean, I've never really been a straight down the line, aiming at the charts type of guy. But and of course, that when you're a kid at school, your ambition is to sing, and you don't even think about what the implications are or what the deal could be. It's just the very fact that you can do it and you actually become an entertainer, and that's what you do. That's what I do.
It's just made me think. Could you ever see yourself going down like Rod's path and doing like the Great American Songbook or something?
Well, in effect, what we do is exactly what that is, except for it's the stuff that's on the B roads, on the green, on the blue highways. We don't sing.
Right.
There's no point in singing those songs. To me, they have a life, and Rod does what he does. I remember Rod from the mid-'60s when he was in the Steam Packet with Long John Baldry.
Yeah.
And he's a big Sam Cooke guy, and he loves his music, but it's too straight down the line for me to try and do that. I need to have that kind of smoky thing going on that we get going. I've got all the time in the world for Rod. He's fantastic, but it's a little bit too straightforward. I like this kind of twisty stuff that we do.
So do I. And the great news is you're going out on the road. You're going to be touring the US, Europe in the summer, and you're going to be in Hyde Park in June. So what's the show going to be? Is it all just the two of you? Do you do solo stuff?
Oh no! We do some. In the past, we've done some of her stuff from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and that movie that did a lot of soundtrack stuff. Yeah, and sometimes we get as far as enjoying some of the more twisty, twirly Led Zeppelin stuff too. Yeah, I mean, we can stretch it right across. Once we get going, when she starts stamping her heels on the floor, we're off. It's great.
Oh, well, I will be there with bells on. I'm a big fan of the both of you and love this record. I'm going to play a track now. It's the new single from the Raise the Roof album. It's called Can't Let Go. Robert, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you, mate. Thank you so much.
Michael, and the same to you. My very best to you. Take it easy.
And Happy New Year, mate. God bless.
Okay, okay, all the best.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So here it is. Can't Let Go. Two legends there together. Alison Krauss, Robert Plant, amazing. And speaking of legends, you can hear